5S is a very powerful methodology that goes beyond colorful tape on the floor and making work areas clean. 5S is a key component of a solid foundation needed for continuous improvement. In this 5S methodology course, we will cover the following topics: the 5S methodology overview, the first S, sort, the second S, straighten or set in order, the third S, sweep or shine, the fourth S, standardize, and the fifth S, sustain. Now, let's begin with the 5S methodology overview. Let's get started by introducing Taiichi Ohno. Taiichi Ohno was a Japanese industrial engineer, recognized as one of the leaders in industrial engineering and designing the Toyota production system. One of Taiichi Ohno's famous quotes states that without 5S standards, there can be no improvement. So what is 5S? 5S is a methodology that results in a workplace that is clean, uncluttered, safe, well organized, and highly visible. In other words, 5S provides a highly efficient and highly productive workplace that is easily managed. It is the first order of business for any organization serious about continuous improvement. The first objective of 5S is to make every work area safe, easy, and productive. The second objective of 5S is to make abnormalities visibly obvious, resulting in action. There are 5 phases to 5S. The 5S phases are sort, straighten or set in order, sweep or shine, standardize, and sustain. We'll now explore each of the 5 phases in great detail. As you will discover, 5S paves the way for future continuous improvement. Let's get familiar with the key objectives for each of the 5S phases. Sort. All unneeded tools, parts, and supplies are removed from the area. Straighten. A place for everything has been determined and everything is in its place. Shine. The work area is clean, well maintained, and highly visual. Standardize. All work area processes are well documented and followed. Sustain. 5S has become habit and it's frequently audited by management. Now that you know what the 5S methodology is all about, let's dive into the first S, sort. The first S in the 5S methodology is sort. Its primary objective is to clear the workplace of all non-essential items and to create a clutter-free work environment. How does an organization go about decluttering the workplace? The first task is to determine which items are essential for current production or tasks. Then, all non-essential items are either discarded, returned to the right home, or marked with a red tag. The red tag is used to control the movement and disposition of all company-owned assets. This is a typical thought process used for sorting. Red tag. As previously mentioned, the red tag is used to control the movement and disposition of all unneeded company-owned assets. Before the red tag process can begin, a designated red tag holding area must be established. This holding area is a dedicated location where items that are no longer needed can be temporarily stored until properly dispositioned. This is the process flow for red tagging and dispositioning work area items. The following illustrates how a 5S event might be conducted when applied to organizing a garage. As you can see, the current condition of the garage is disorganized, inefficient, and certainly not a good work environment. And so, 5S begins. When sorting, each item in the work area will be placed in one of the following categories. Item stays in the work area. Item is kept close to the work area, the item belongs somewhere else, the item is not needed, or the item needs to be placed in the garbage. Usually, it helps to first simply get rid of anything that goes in the garbage. Often, this shows an immediate benefit. Then, we might remove items that simply belong somewhere else. Always be sure to get approval from management and finance before moving items. As mentioned, Be sure to get proper approval prior to moving items. This usually includes management and finance. Management is typically responsible for the care of all assets in their areas. Finance is typically legally accountable for assets when conducting inventory and asset audits. Finally, we will now remove any remaining items that are not needed in the work area. These items will need red tagged prior to being moved to the red tag holding area. This provides effective asset tracking and accountability. As you can see, the work area clutter has been significantly reduced. The first S, sort, is now complete. Now, let's dive into the second S, straighten or set in order. Once the workplace is clutter-free, the next step is to organize and arrange the remaining items in the workplace. This leads us to the second S of the 5S process, straighten or set in order. The objective of set in order is to create a safe and orderly workplace that makes it easy to locate, use, and return items to their proper place. And so, the second S, straighten, begins. The first step in straighten is to get all items that are needed. This includes items that were needed to be replaced that were discarded on the first S, and items that the work area never had but it needs to improve its performance. The second step in straighten is to lay out the work area in a way that is most efficient and safe. The second S, straighten, is now complete. Now, let's dive into the third S, sweep or shine. Shine, the third S, focuses on keeping machines and working environments safe, clean, and highly visual. While performing basic cleaning tasks, team members simultaneously check machines for unusual situations such as cracks, leaks, loose parts, strange noises, or vibrations. Once the work area meets the cleanup and maintenance standards, all assets will be properly labeled and/or marked. And so, the third S, shine, begins. In the third S, shine, there are 6 steps that need to take place. The first step is cleanup standards are identified. The second step is maintenance standards are identified. The third step is work area KPIs are identified. The fourth step is the work area is cleaned and maintained. The fifth step is all sources of dirt and debris are minimized. And the last step is all assets are properly labeled and marked. The third S, shine, is now complete. Now, let's dive into the fourth S, standardize. The fourth S, standardize, is included in the 5S process to ensure that the improvements made during the first 3 phases are standardized and put in place as best practices. The overall goal is for every team member in all work centers to understand these newly established best practices and to use them consistently without fail. To ensure that 5S benefits are not lost, the practices must become habit, and all team members need to live and practice the first 3 S's, sort, set in order, and shine, on a daily basis. This can be accomplished by fully integrating 3L's responsibilities into daily work activities. And so, the fourth S, standardize, begins. In the fourth S, standardize, there are 6 steps that need to take place. The first step is cleanup standards and schedules are created and posted. The second step is maintenance standards and schedules are created and posted. The third step is work area KPIs are created and posted. As part of the third step, takt time has to be determined. Takt time is the pace or rhythm needed to keep up with customer demand. In other words, the process cycle time needs to be performed at this pace or quicker. Also, cycle time has to be determined as well. Cycle time is the actual time a process takes to complete an entire process cycle. Said differently, cycle time is the actual time a process takes to complete all its process steps. Cycle time must be equal or less than takt time in order to keep up with customer demand. Once the work area key performance indicators have been created, implement a visual tool to display the output standards. This tool will enable management to easily identify the work area's ability to meet its performance standards. After the work area's key performance indicators have been created and posted, the fourth step is work area SOPs are created and readily available. Part of the fourth step is to create a standard work combination sheet. For each process step, split the average time for every step on one of these 5 categories: value add, non-value add wait time, non-value add walk time, other non-value add time, and auto time. Auto time is processing time where the operator can leave a machine to do other work while the machine continues running automatically. After the standard work combination sheet, use this tool called the percent loading chart or a line balancing chart. For work areas with more than one operator and each operator performs only a portion of the overall process steps, this tool can be used to see how loaded or how balanced the workload is across each operator. You typically want each operator to be as close to 100% loaded as possible without going over 100%. The data used in this tool is automatically read from the standard work combination sheet for each operator. Then, use the standard worksheet. This tool displays the current physical layout of the process, including the sequence or order all work is to be performed. Once the third and fourth step are complete, you will want to display the new standards in the work area's information board. The fifth step is a frequent 5S audit plan is implemented. And the final step is all resources understand their 5S responsibilities. The fourth S, Standardize, is now complete. Now, let's dive into the fifth and final S, Sustain. The fifth S, Sustain, is included in the 5S methodology to make sure all accomplishments and activities made during the first 4 S's are sustained. The objective of the Sustain phase is to encourage good 5S practice and make sure it's incorporated in the work area's overall training program. And so, the fifth and final S, Sustain, begins. In the fifth S, Sustain, there are 4 steps that need to take place. The first step is 5S standards are part of this work area's training. The second and third step are where leadership promotes good 5S outcomes and discourages poor 5S outcomes. The fourth step is 4 consecutive 4S audits are required for 5S status. 5S is a key component to a solid continuous improvement foundation, and it never ends. Congratulations on finishing this powerful training. If you're enrolled in our certification program, click on the Final Exam button when you're ready. Once we receive your exam results, our team will schedule a live workshop to combine hands-on experience with your newly acquired academic skill set. Once the exam and hands-on workshop are complete, our team will provide you with an internationally recognized certification. If you're not yet enrolled in our certification program and would like to be, click the I Want to Get Certified button.